Hello everyone, and welcome back to Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc Blind. There we go, got it all this time. So in the last one, we have found Sakura dead, and now we commence with the investigation. I didn't do an awful lot in the last one, but, well, I don't know about this episode, but certainly in this little session I intend to finish the investigation, and probably the trial? Maybe. I don't know, it depends how long the investigation is, I guess. Okay, so all we looked at was this. What else do I have to look at? The clock, apparently. It's around 1 o'clock right now. According to the Monokuma file, Sakura died around 12 noon. Okay, so an hour ago. So roughly an hour ago. Was that when Kyoko and I were moving alter ego? So, we saw Hero and Genocide Jill walking around, and they were definitely acting sus. Is it possible that they already knew? But why wouldn't they tell anyone? Well, there's definitely something up with that. That is too specific of a detail to not, bring up. It looks like some kind of wrapper. That's... Do you recognize it, Hina?
Well, yeah, I gave it to her. It's a candy wrapper. Sakura got super upset when she found out Genocide Jack had attacked me, right? So after we left the nurse's office, I gave it to her. I thought it might help her calm down a little.
Very considerate of you, Hina. Very, very nice. So you gave that candy to Sakura?
I found a big box fit in the warehouse. I really like them. Actually, as soon as we could get into the warehouse... Sorry, I fumbled over that. Actually, as soon as we could get into the warehouse, I took the entire box back to my room. I made sure nobody else could get their hands on them.
You really like them that much?
But I wanted Sakura to have a chance to try one for herself. That's why I gave it to her. But now, they've lost all their flavour.
Hina. Oh. Evidence. Okay, well, we'll check Sakura last. I tend to do that with the bodies. There are shards of glass scattered all around the chair Sakura was sitting on. The glass is all red, and these are the top and bottom sections of a bottle, right? So this must have originally been a bottle. That was some brilliant detective work, Makoto. Glass shards on the floor. Huh. Something else on the ground near the glass. It's a figure. Fits in the palm of my hand. It's a Monokuma figure. Figure on the floor. Chess pieces. Well, just a single chess piece, I suppose. Huh. The locker's open. And there on the inside. It's a handprint? Several of them by the looks of it. 3? What's a handprint doing here? It looks like someone touched the inside of the locker and it left a handprint in all the dust.
It's true.
And it looks quite fresh, too. I'd say someone was hiding here in the locker, and they left behind a little something extra. So then... maybe the killer hid in here until the locked room was open, don't you think? And during all the confusion, they popped out and joined the rest of the group. Well, I discussed this last time. I don't think that's possible, but... unfortunately, that's not a possibility. Uh-huh? Why not? Think back. Before we opened the door, we looked inside the room, right? Oh yeah, actually I did. I even pointed it out, didn't I? Yeah, the locker's open. Oh yeah! And the locker was already open at that point. So there's no way someone could have hidden in there until after we opened the door. Yeah. So then, what does this handprint mean? I might have an idea. Well, I mean, obviously it means someone was in there, but there are 4 red bottles lined up on the shelf. And inside each bottle, there's some kind of Monokuma figure. Okay. It's pawn, rook. We've just found the knight. That's the bishop, and the king on the end. So it looks like we're missing the queen. I mean, that's all I can observe from that right now. What I'm wondering is, how they get those figures inside the bottles? Go down, Makoto.
So...
It's no different from your standard ship in a bottle. Huh? You know, where the bottle's opening is smaller than the boat placed inside. You've never seen that?
Oh, yeah, maybe I have.
In other words...
So this is the Monokuma version of that. A Monokuma bottle, if you will. Kyoko, you didn't even answer his question. I feel like I'm finally starting to make sense of things, little by little. The Monokuma bottle sitting on the shelf. The Monokuma figure we found on the ground. The red shards of glass, which probably started out as a bottle. Which would mean Sakura must have been hit in the head with a Monokuma bottle, right? Shards of glass and the Monokuma figure are evidence of that. So I think it's safe to say that the Monokuma bottle was the weapon. It's good, Makoto, but it doesn't really account for the bloody vomiting. Okay. I don't remember if it specifically says that the killing blow was with, like, all the other ones. I don't recall if it said that the killing blow, like, it specified the killing blow, if it just says there was a head injury, which has really been the majority of deaths so far. But here it just says there is evidence of a strong blow to the victim's head. It doesn't say that they were killed by it, which, I mean, seems obvious. I feel like our vomiting of blood is a pretty dead giveaway for poison being involved. But then that raises the question of was Sakura hit with the bottle before or after she died? Because this could be a very simple case of just getting poisoned and then, like, like how ultimately Mondo's case was extremely simple, but because, like, Byakuya interfered, it suddenly got a lot more complicated. So, assuming, like, that, if that's going to be sort of what happens here, if Sakura was just killed by being poisoned beforehand, and then maybe that's what Hero or Genocide Jill was, like, why they were there? Maybe one of them attacked Sakura? Maybe the other one was inside the locker? But, like, Sakura was already dead at that point? I mean, it's impossible to say at this point, but I mean, I don't even know why they'd be here. So, same shelf full of magazines. That same shelf full of magazines. There's all different kinds of magazines here. What? Why did it let me investigate that? There's a bloodstain in front of the magazine shelf. It must have come from Sakura, right? That doesn't make sense. Why is it so far away from where she died? Well, I assume this must be where she vomited blood, right?
Actually... Oh, maybe it's a different sort of complicated then. That if someone intended to kill Sakura with poison, but maybe she... Okay, well, we've got to look at it this way. No one moved Sakura's body. None of us, none of the people still alive could have possibly moved her body. So she absolutely died in that chair. The bloodstain over here, assuming that no one else was attacked, which I don't think they were, I think we'd know. This is obviously Sakura's blood. But did it come from her head wound or her vomiting blood? I would assume vomiting blood, but that is also quite a lot of blood, so maybe not? Like, I don't know. I'm not sure. Because now it's really a matter of, was Sakura killed by poison or by the blow to the head? I think that's really gonna... You know... Because, I mean, really, Hina's right in the sense that it really seems like it's down to Byakuya, Toko, and Hiro. Poison seems very much like a Byakuya move, and we saw Genocide Jill and Hiro whilst we were moving Alter Ego, and assuming Makoto's right, it couldn't be him or Kyoko who killed Sakura. Well, I mean, it could be Kyoko if she was poisoned, technically, but it's not going to be Kyoko. In the same vein that I don't think it's going to be Byakuya, which then maybe means that she was killed by a blow to the head, but then it's also like, I think, like, I'm almost dead certain that Toko survives, so... Is it Hiro? It seems too easy. But... I mean, it's not like you had to talk to Hiro, so I guess... I don't know, I feel like this case is going to be a real juggle of... It was you! Oh no, it was you! Oh no, wait, actually it was you! Which is exactly what happened in case 2, actually. Sakura drew her last breath, sitting slumped forward in this chair. There's obvious evidence of the blow to the head Sakura suffered. Normally I wouldn't have any problem believing that's what killed her. But according to the Monokuma file, she had also vomited blood. And I can see a trace of blood on her lips for sure. So, what would have caused her to vomit blood? The Monokuma file specifically said she hadn't suffered any other injuries. Okay, that is actually a good point. I've assumed it's poison. I don't actually know that for certain, you know? I mean, it couldn't really be anything else, but we also need to find said poison, so I guess we're going to need to go to the chem lab soon. Status of Sakura's body. Maybe her getting hit on the head somehow caused her to start vomiting blood? Not a chance. Yeah, I don't think that's possible. Byakuya.
That's fine.
However, your eyes have landed on the most interesting location. Interesting.
Naturally.
Yes, most interesting. Don't you agree? No, I don't think I'd call it interesting. It does make me wonder. The reason Sakura vomited blood absolutely has to be connected to why she died. Alright, then Makoto seems to also think that... Well, I mean, I don't think he's figured out that it's poison. But I mean, again, I don't know that it's poison. I just can't imagine that it's anything else.
We already know who did it. Byakuya, Toko, or Hiro. It had to be one of them. They couldn't stand the sight of her. You agree with me, don't you, Makoto?
Well, I don't want to say anything for sure without finding out more.
Then let me help you find out more. You see, Sakura asked all three of them to meet with her. You know where? Right here in the rec room.
Alright, and that seems to... I'd say that sort of clinches why we saw Jill and Hiro. It seems like that they went to see her, but the fact that they were pretty much together would seem to mean that either they both already found her dead, or when they were both there, she was still alive. So basically I just narrowed down absolutely nothing, except that that Hiro and Jill probably, or it's highly likely that they went to see her. What?
After I went to the nurse's office this morning, Sakura and I both left together, right? Well, eventually she went off on her own. But when I saw her again after that, she told me... She said she'd left a note for each of them. She asked them to meet her in the rec room by noon.
By noon? Monokuma said she died right around then.
I'm telling you the truth. I heard it right from Sakura herself. And I tried to stop her, but she wouldn't listen. She said not to worry, that she just wanted to talk to them. And this is what happened. If I'd stopped her, by force even, this never would have happened.
Hina. It's impossible not to have regrets, I know. Oh, man. God, this really... I mean, she was even torn up last case, like over Hifumi, who she had literally no relationship with. So, yeah, this... I can't imagine how much this must hurt. The fact that she had asked those three to meet with her, and she asked them to come to the rec room at noon, the same time and place she ended up dying. Might be good to confirm what I just heard of the three of them directly. Yeah, that's probably for the best, yeah. Yo, Kyoko, got anything else for me?
However,
But for Sakura to have been killed... Yeah, she's not the type to go down without a fight.
it's true.
And she certainly didn't, I would say. She was the ultimate martial artist, strong in body, mind, and spirit. So how was the killer able to get the upper hand on her? I wonder, did someone get the upper hand? They must have taken her by surprise, right?
Certainly.
Certainly they would have needed it Certainly they would have needed to if they expected to stand any chance against her. So what, are we saying that whoever did this jumped out of the locker, sklabam? Or it could be exactly as how I said, whoever did this attacked her and she was already dead. What do you want? You're bothering me. There's something I'd like to talk to you about. Make it quick. Is it true that Sakura asked you to meet her in the rec room? So you found out? Interesting. Hina's right over there. She was the one who told us. And it's true? I did receive a note to that effect, yes. But what fool would do what it said and risk being killed by that monster? So you didn't go see her? Of course not. I ripped the note to shreds and threw it away. I haven't seen Sakura today at all. Byakuya says he didn't go see her. Is that the truth? Well, until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact.
Come on.
We're all finished. Please remove yourself from my sight. Okay, thanks. I mean, as much as it is just hearsay, I am inclined to believe him. I mean, he even started coming to the morning meetings because of, started. I think it was only once that he actually, it's only been one time. Oh, well, there were two, but he didn't turn up when Jill attacked Hina, I don't think. Which is what, this morning? So yesterday, he came over. So I think I have everything, right? Yeah, I've got everything. So I am inclined to believe him. Have I not looked at everything? Have to click on the door to leave? No, I had to examine the door, because of course I did. This door is the only way in and out of the rec room. The door doesn't have a lock, and there's no evidence that the mountings have been tampered with. The only notable change to the door is the smashed window, which happened, of course, when I broke it to get inside. There's no evidence that any kind of string or mechanism was used on the door. In other words, I don't see anything suspicious about the door itself. Having examined both the door and the chair, there's no doubt the reason the door didn't open was simply because the chair was shoved up against it. This kept the doorknob from turning and the door from opening. There was no evidence of the door or chair being tampered with or anything like that. So the killer must have created the locked door from inside, not from the outside. Well, because I know we're no stranger to hidden rooms in here, in this school. But then we really have, like, the pandemic, the problem that we have in Ace Attorney cases a lot of the time, where it seems like the only possible person who could have been in the room was the victim. And usually the defendant. Well, Makoto, have you finished with your general investigation? Yeah, I think so, for the most part.
So then,
We should probably go talk with people now. I'm on guard duty, so I can't leave.
listen to me.
Which is why I've decided you'll go in my place. She's decided? She's gotten a lot more pushy since we had our issue. Well, I don't know, Makoto. I think, in a way, she's opening up, you know? I think she's putting her trust in us. You, specifically. She's right. I do have to go talk to the others. Because I don't know if... I mean, last chapter, Kyoko wouldn't even tell us where she went. You know? Until afterwards, when we were like, hey, I believe in you. So, yeah, no, I think she's just putting her trust in us, Makoto. Sakura wanted to meet with 2 other people. I need to hear what they have to say. Okay, can I leave now? Okay, cool. So the 2 probably went back to their rooms. Okay, oh, well, thank you for taking me there, Makoto. Okay, so Toko's, I think, is next to Sayaka's, and Hero's is at the other end. Yeah, is this... Yes, I was right. It is. Press the doorbell. Ding dong! And after a few seconds... Oh, hello. Oh, fancy that, It was also from Case 2.
Who's there?
Hey, Toko. Yeah, the most negative aura I've ever felt. An aura of total decay.
Al? What do you want?
So you're back to normal. Genocide Jack isn't around anymore.
Oh yeah, no, she was Jack.
Don't even say her name. It makes me sick to my stomach. I was in such a good mood, too.
Really? She didn't look like she was in a good mood.
Hey, I was hoping to talk to you about something. Is now a bad time?
Obviously annoyed, Toko slithered out into the hall.
What do you want?
You said you wanted to talk to me about something? I wanted to talk about the fact that Sakura had asked to meet with you. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Byakuya already told me she asked to meet with him. What? She wanted to meet with Master too? Ah, I just said too, didn't I? I guess now it's totally obvious, huh? Yeah, pretty much. So, can you tell me about it? I admit I did get the note, but I didn't go see her. I was scared, so I couldn't bring myself to go. Toko claims she didn't go see her, but can I really believe her? Until I can prove otherwise, I have no choice but to accept it as fact. Is that good enough? And I'm going back to my room. With that, Toko retreated into her room. Okay, well, I mean, based on the fact that we saw Jill... Well, actually, I guess Toko might not be lying. I suppose there's actually a pretty good chance then that it wasn't Toko that went to see Sakura, but Jill did. So... Now, Hero, I think, is down here. Leon... Hero. I press the doorbell. And after a few seconds...
Hey, what's up, Makoto? Did you need something, dude?
Yeah, actually. I just wanted to check something. About how Sakura wanted to meet with you.
How'd you know about that, man? Did you maybe gaze into my soul, dude? Have your special abilities awakening you? But I'm not the only one she wanted to meet with. Uger told me herself that she asked Byakuya and Togo to come, dude. Come too.
Wait, oh shit, I didn't... Is it this? Yeah. What? When did Sakura tell you that?
Oh, well, when she asked me to meet with her, of course.
But didn't she write you a note?
Yeah, a note. She gave it to me in person. And she happened to mention the others, like, in passing, dude.
I gotta be honest, this is super suspicious. So then you went and met with Sakura?
No way, I totally didn't. Why would I ever do that, dude?
Yeah, definitely suspicious. Well, again, I was pretty sure he had seen her.
The last time I saw Ogre was when Hina got hurt and I took her to the nurse's office, dude. I haven't seen her since then, man.
While I'm here, could you show me the note she gave you?
Oh, do I still have it? Let's see here, dude.
Hiro was feeling around in his pockets.
Yeah, sorry, looks like I don't have it anymore, man.
With a big goofy smile on his face, he pulled his hands out of his pockets. But when he did, I saw something flutter to the ground. Something had fallen out of Hiro's pocket. Huh? Quick as the wind, Hiro snatched it back up again and shoved it back into his pockets.
Sorry, just a bit of trash I've got to throw out, dude.
Trash?
Anyway, I can't deny that Ogre asked to meet with me, but I never went, dude. So, well, if you'll excuse me, man.
Before waiting for a reply, Hiro quietly slipped back into his room. Hiro said that was just trash, but there's no way that's all there was to it. Okay then. So it's pretty obvious that Hiro did go and see her, and he apparently talked to her. So the idea that I had about... excuse me. That Sakura was dead when he came to see her? Wrong. She was definitely alive, which would probably mean that and Jill and Hiro were pretty much right behind each other, you know, so they definitely saw her, like, around the same time. But it sounded like Hiro didn't see Toko or Jill, so... I mean, in that case, it seems likely that Toko was the one in the locker? I mean, Hiro would have no reason to be in there. I mean, then we've also got the possibility that it was Byakuya, and I guess I technically can't discount Hina, but I highly doubt she was in there. Yeah, okay. Okay, so I've heard from Toko and Hiro. Yeah, what next? Definitely have to go back to look at the actual crime scene again, but on top of that, maybe I should find out more about the protein can we found on the floor of the rec room. I'm sure it must have come from the chem lab. So, where should I start? I think let's go to the chem lab first. God, it's a tragedy that I have to hear it so often, but I fucking love this investigation music. It's so good. I was about to try and go into the Oh, what's the fuck? Damn it! I don't know instruments well enough. That was the wrong one. Wrong instrument. You know, I probably should have gone to the rec room considering I just ran right past it, but look, I want to go to the chem lab because that's where I wanted to check out. I think there's going to be more in here. There it is! Makoto, did you have your eye on the chem lab too? Just make sure you don't get in my way. Yeah, I got it. I think what you meant to say was, yes sir, I understand. What a dick. Okay, looks like all I can investigate is the normal stuff. Oh, God. Commentary 100, but... oh. Well, I'll talk to Byakuya last. This isn't my first time seeing the shelf, but I just can't get over how big it is. Should probably take a closer look at it. Looks like 3 shelves have been connected together to make one giant shelf. But more important right now, what's that powder that's been spilled in front of the shelf? You have to be careful not to step in it. Yeah, okay. Well, that's, okay. Well, let's look at the bottle first, I guess. There's a broken bottle in front of the shelf. Is this where all the powder came from? It looks like the bottle had a label on it. Chem C4. Would you like to hear something interesting? Sure. I was on the 4th floor this morning, checking things out, and at that point, this room wasn't like this. Then, this powder must have been spilled... That's right, it could only have been spilled around the time of the incident. That really is what... that really is when it happened. It must be related to the case somehow. Source of the powder. Okay. I mean, that is entirely hearsay, and there's really no way to prove that, but, yeah. And we'll have to take his word for it. There's a bunch of yellow powder scattered on the floor, and I'd better not leave a footprint. Okay, great. That's not what I meant to do. Let's see, what's on this shelf? There are all kinds of dietary supplements and different medicines. Oh, we've got a C4, it's not C4, a C9 in there, along with those A's. It looks pretty much identical to the bottle that was spilled down there, too. The protein drink we found in the rec room probably came from this shelf. All the containers on the shelf are labelled with the letter A and a number. So I guess I can consider this part of the shelving unit section A. Huh? But wait! There's one bottle here that's labelled Chem C9. Could someone have put it here on accident? I highly doubt it was on accident. These are footprints? And they're only in front of the left shelf. None of these footprints relate to the scene as a whole. We may need to sketch out the floor plan. By we... do you mean me? How kind of you to offer. With an insufferable smirk, he handed me a piece of paper and a pen. Even came prepared, and he still... yeah, why don't you tell them, Makoto? Why don't you draw it, Makoto? Well, let's go, chop chop. Okay. Got to work, and before long I'd drawn up a sketch of the room. Oh, a bit of hullabaloo outside, hang on. Oh. Don't really know why. So, how's this? Not bad. For you, I mean. For me.
I see.
So, when you look at it like this, interesting. It would appear that whoever left these footprints only had business at the leftmost shelf. They came in, went straight to that shelf, did whatever they had to, and then left. That's what the footprints tell me.
I see.
These footprints must be...
It's certainly possible.
Makoto, are they yours? No? Okay, then let me see your shoes and I'll confirm their size for myself. Couldn't think of a reason not to, so I quietly did what Byakuya said. You see, your feet do appear to be too big. Unfortunately, I must admit these are not your footprints. Oh, well, okay, that's actually quite interesting. Makoto's feet are too big. Unfortunately, with how clear these prints are, it should be quite easy to determine who they do belong to. And these prints are a really valuable clue. Should probably take a good hard look at that powder. There's a bunch of yellow powder scattered on the floor in front of the shelf. There's also the remains of a broken bottle. It looks like the bottle was labelled Chem C4. Also, it looks like someone left some footprints in the powder. Based on the positioning of the prints, whoever it was only went to the left side of the shelf. Okay, anyway, we're going on for a bit. So what I was going to say, if Makoto's feet are too big, then it seems more than likely that it was one of the girls who left these footprints. And it definitely was not Sakura. So, Toko, Hina, and Kyoko. If it's all as we said, we can be pretty sure it wasn't Kyoko who left these prints, but to be fair, we didn't see her. Granted, I only think we were gone for like 5 minutes at most, so I highly doubt Kyoko ran up like 2 floors, got some poisoned Sakura, and then came all the way back down. I highly doubt that's possible. And it seems like it wouldn't be Toko. So, logically, they belong to Hina? According to Byakuya, the powder would have to have been spilt right around the time of the incident. Oh! So is it possible then that these prints are completely unrelated then? And maybe Hina went... Oh! So I was about to say that maybe these footprints were left after the incident then, and they have nothing to do with the case. That bottle that we found in the rec room was on top of the glass, which, assuming in a perfect world nothing moved, that bottle was placed after the crime, right? Which might mean that maybe Hina just dropped it and didn't notice, you know? Like, I mean, it'd be pretty weird for her to just have a bottle on her, but it was also a protein bottle, so I wouldn't put it past Hina to have that on her. I mean, I feel like we might have said that, or like might have pointed that out, but that doesn't seem too far-fetched, you know? And this is another one that I think is going to... Another way to sling it all around, because we've got Hero's got like the piece of paper, not the piece of paper, the candy wrapper that links him to the crime. I don't think I've ever actually, you know, made that verbal connection, but obviously it's the exact same candy wrapper as the one that was at Sakura's feet. Toko, I assume, is the one who left the handprints, so that ties her in. This bottle might accidentally tie Hina in. And to be honest, Hina's the only one of the 3 I'm not entirely certain survives, you know? So... I don't know how this case is going to go. I don't believe that she killed Sakura, but... That's all I can tell for now. B. So on this shelf is... It looks like a bunch of chemicals that I have no idea what they are. They're reagents. Put simply, they're used in experiments to bring about a chemical reaction. How have you lived in such ignorance for so long? You must truly be bliss. Isn't that kind of harsh? What? You think studying science and mathematics has no practical application in the real world? The words of a lifelong loser, which I suppose suits you well. I didn't even say that. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Right now I need to focus on the shelf. All the contents on this shelf are labelled with the letter B and a number. So I guess I can consider this part of the shelving unit section B. I don't see anything out of the ordinary here, in which case I don't think I have to worry too much about this shelf. You're mowing the goddamn gut. Can you hear that? That's pretty goddamn loud. Hang on. Well, you might still be able to hear that, but I'll close the window in and hopefully you don't. That rumble. On this shelf is... One look and I can tell it's nothing but dangerous chemicals. These look like poisons and other powerful chemicals. All the containers on this shelf are labelled with the letter C and a number, so I'm guessing I can consider this part... I fuck that up every single time. This part of the shelving unit, section C. I should try and find out more about the shelving unit. It looks like it's split into 3 sections. Section A has dietary supplements, Section B has reagents, and Section C has lethal chemicals. Sakura must have gotten the protein powder from Section A. But what concerns me is that in Section A there was a bottle with a label from Section C. What was a bottle of poison from Section C doing in Section A? There's definitely something going on there. Well, honestly, that makes it seem like poison's a red herring. Like it's purposely been put there. Which would make perfect sense for all the footprints, like, being after the... coming from after the crime. If the poison was put there, it seems that maybe Sakura didn't necessarily... I mean, Sakura was definitely poisoned, but maybe she didn't die from poison, you know? And, like, this is a whole big fucking setup for someone to have poisoned Sakura, made it look like something else killed her, i.e. blow to the head, and then, really set this up post-death to make the whole thing look like she absolutely wouldn't have been poisoned. And that was a red herring. Like... Jesus Christ. God, this case is complicated in a whole different way to the last case. Jesus. We've already taken a good look at the chem lab. Maybe we should take another look at the rec room. Oh, really? We're not going to talk to Byakuya? I mean, I'm going to talk to him anyway. Makoto, I admit you have a good eye for spotting useful clues, but you also need to learn how to make use of those clues. Oh, okay. Okay. Cool. Cool, Byakuya. Alright, let's go. I really went the long way for that. But another one's hammering on the fucking building outside. What are I doing? I hope you can't hear that. Let's go.
Hey.
So, Makoto, how's your investigation going? Tell Kyoko what Toko and Hiro had told me.
I see.
So along with Byakuya, they're both claiming they didn't go see her. But it's all too convenient. Someone must be lying. Someone's lying.
Anyway.
Well, I've made some progress of my own. Sakura's body, the shelf of magazines, and the Monokuma bottles. These 3 things have revealed new clues. We do well to look them over one more time. Okay. I'm going to end the episode here, I think. But I just want... Okay, I was going to say, I just want to check Hina and Kyoko's shoes, but, you know, just to see if they line up with sort of like the shape of the footprints, but I can't really tell. I mean, Kyoko's wearing boots, but I can't really tell if they're flat-footed or there's a heel on them. Hina, on the other hand, is definitely wearing, like, trainers. So it could be her footprints. It could feasibly be hers. And then I guess that just leaves Toko. I can't see her feet because she's inside. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to end the episode here. We'll pick up next time, or we'll finish the investigation. Yeah, hopefully. I hope we finish the investigation. This seems like the last place we need to check. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. See you then.